Hi and welcome to this video where I changed the stator of my Harley Sportster from 1995. As you will see, I'm obviously not a professional, I'm just a happy amateur, at least amateur. And I will do several mistakes. Eventually things will turn out just fine. So I hope that you can see that you don't have to be a professional or have supreme wrenching skills to pull a thing like this off. Well, what you need is a factory manual and some time to do it. I'd like to say thank you to some people for support and help. Thank you Robert E. Hill, thank you Art Northrup Jr., thank you Elliot Christian Sonderson, wife and kids. So enjoy. Alright, so this is my bike. What happened is it's not charging the battery, so it drains the battery, which is completely new. I realized it's the stator that's grounded. Even if video tutorials are good, the factory manual is important. If you don't have it, get it. I disconnected the voltage regulator from the stator connector. We're supposed to have somewhere about 0.4 ohms between these two and no connection whatsoever between either of these and ground. So take your multimeter, one of the best tools you can ever buy, and we put it on 200 ohm scale here. Okay, so 0.5-ish between those. Sounds about okay. So now let's use this one here. Makes a beep if we do have a connection. Beep beep. And now we use to measure it towards ground. I used any ground point like a bolt and a frame like this one. So we see that we have connection between each of these and ground, which is not good at all. And I'll have to rip into the tranny as described in the factory manual. I'm supposed to pull the clutch and those things. Never done it before. Let's see if I can make it. There you go. Here I simplify the instructions in the factory manual, step by step. Everyone says pay attention to where these screws go later on, and that's actually very well described in the factory manual as well. For some reason this one is stuck. This is me being so stupid. I should get this guy here out. Ta-da! Right. Moving on. We're in. So what's happening here later on is we need to loosen this one with an impact wrench. We got to loosen here, remove the whole package, get behind this one, and then we're gonna see here we have the connectors to the stator coming right in here. They look quite alright, so probably we'll find a burned stator. Oop. Let's see what we have. Here you go. There it goes, under the bracket. which is infamous for having sharp edges, although it seems it's fine here. So you can see the other nut. So this one is the one that's supposed to be left-hand threaded. So you're going to turn it clockwise to loosen it. Alright, so now it's time for the big moment. Using the impact wrench with an 1/8 inch long socket to get this thing off. So hopefully this won't be a failure, ending up as a epic mistake YouTube failure. So fingers crossed. Let's hope I can get it done. Jesus. That was almost too easy, wasn't it? This is out on the outside. Important to know when we are reassembling. Yeah, and this one will go off, and this one as well. So we can feel the magnets holding, wanting to get this one back a bit. And here we go. What do we see here? We can see the magnets are looking good. This is nice. I didn't want to see anything broken around here. So now let's find out what's wrong with the stator. So I'm removing this bracket here and then these bolts. Okay, so now I temporarily put these back, these nuts, so I know where I have them. Here we go. Torx 27. Right. Alright. Oh, on the bracket, of course. Oi. Up. Can I just slide it right? Oh, I could. Maybe not quite by the book, but still. Looks okay. Yes, it isn't. Alright, just one thing I did now. I hung this up here with my glove in between, so we have no connection whatsoever between this one and the negative. But now we measure between this one and the connector here, where we should have no connectivity. So what I know now is magnets are looking good. This one is toast. And I read somewhere it's a good thing to tie some piece of string to this one as guiding when we put the new one in. Finally. So let's just make the same test on this one. The new one. So holding this one here. And now we see what resistance we got here. 0.3, 0.4. It's perfect. And now let's see if we have some connection between this one and let's see, I can hold it like this. So no connection there, and no connection. So no connection between ground and the two connectors here. Meanwhile, I've cleaned screws and other things, and also I wiped off the rotor, so it should be nice and not, as it says, contain foreign material. So now it's time to get the things back in place. So now let's move on to the torque wrench. Now going for crosswise. There we go. Click on this one, and there also click on that one. Let's see here. There was the click on this. And there we have the click on that. Alright. So now let's give it the cable routing a shot. First starting with this guy here. Getting that one back into place. So now I'm going to use this string to hopefully get things back to where they belong. To put some oil to lube this thing. There we go. Yeah, so now I just do put the cable back on the other side. And I don't really feel like putting the camera there. You can imagine what happens, just getting the cable back. I found some of this, so I guess I'll just put it in there anyway. I don't know, could be a good thing, maybe not. Alright, so it was quite a pain in the, yeah, you know what, to get the cable back. Having this string was fantastic. Wouldn't have, well, almost not been possible without it. Pulling it as carefully as possible the same way back. I tested the resistance is still okay, and it's not grounded. So having cleaned this, let's try to put this assembly back. Bam! Wang a dang! Nice. So now it says in the factory manual that we start out here without doing actually anything back here. Adding some red Loctite. Strong stuff. Getting this one to the maximum. Okay, sorry about that. Remembering it's left-hand thread, can't say that enough times. And now we're supposed to see that this one, it says out up here. I'll do it like this. Alright, and red Loctite on this one as well. Funny though, the red Loctite is green. Let's get this done. Okay. Oh. It does click in both directions, doesn't it? Check that. Fantastic, it doesn't. So maybe I over tightened this one. I don't know. It's good enough. At least I don't think it's under tightened. Now we're supposed to put some other fronts back. While at it, I bought a new, this one's the new one, primary chain adjuster. I saw I had some grooves in the old one here. Perhaps it could be used a bit more. I also read on NRHS webpage that these old weak ones, they can get slightly bent, and actually this is actually what we see in this one. And they say they replace whatever Sportster they see with the thicker ones, and it happens to be like this new one. So now I clean the surfaces here, wiped everything off, and now checking the factory manual. It says what bolts go where. Now don't forget the drain plug, 19 to 28 Newton meter. Alright. So I filled it up. There's another thing that's quite tricky, and it's to get the quad ring in place while getting the derby cover back on. But what I tested before is to use some grease, to put some dots here to sort of glue it in place. Just enough time to put the derby cover back on. Now I'm going to adjust the primary chain. It's cold, and I always use wrenches for that, so I know it's in between these intervals. It's easy to measure. Put it in 5th gear, plugs out at the tightest point, since I mean it varies. Just around, find the tightest point, just like it says, and make sure it's somewhere in between this. It's not fun to see, easy to do, so I won't film it. So now the primary chain is properly tensioned, spark plugs are back. So let's check the battery. It's brand new, we got a good 13 volts. First we'll attach plus, and then we'll see if we have some current flowing through ground, and if we don't, Then I'll fire the motorcycle up. Then we will measure from the stator, and then it's alternating circuits, so we'll be down here 200, and we should have about, well, what does it say, like 16 to 24 or 20, in the 20s per 1000 RPMs out from the stator if it works. And then we're gonna plug in the volt pack, then we'll put back dead circuit, and we'll measure again at the battery, so we'll see if it's charging. If it doesn't, or if it's too excessive, then the volt pack is broken. So I really hope it's not. So now let's see if there's any current flowing here. Nope. Good. Okay, so let's plug it in to the volt pack and see what happens at the battery. So now switch back to dead current. Lights on. Let's start it.